Thank you, Scott. Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs practicing today. No pads, a light day back after setting a franchise record 51 points scored in a playoff game. But to get to Miami, Mahomes knows they got to keep that offense rolling until the final minute against Tennessee.
With the Titans, I mean, the physicality, the determination that they play with, offensive, defense, and special teams, I mean, they're going to get after it every single play. They're going to fight for every single yard. Their defense is going to fly around to the ball. They'll chase down a runner if he breaks. They're not going to give up on anything. They're going to fight to the end. I mean, that was the first thing. I mean, being up 2 scores late in the game like that, usually you're good to go and you can kind of just run out the clock. But knowing this team and their coaching staff and their players, they're going to fight to the very end no matter what.
Took out the Pats and the Ravens, and now they have their sights on the Chiefs. Let's head out to Kansas City and James Palmer.
This is Patrick Mahomes' second crack at the AFC Championship game, and he's using that loss to the Patriots in his preparation. He said he didn't prepare for everything against New England. They threw out some coverages and disguised some things that he wasn't prepared for. He doesn't want to dig a hole for the second time in a row. And Tyreek Hill couldn't be more excited about going against this Titans defense that plays a lot of man coverage. And he said, nobody in this league, no disrespect, can cover us man-to-man. They're linebackers, they're DBs, they're secondary. Nobody can cover us man, but he said at the same time, if you go zone, it's even easier for us.
Thank you, James. Well, of course, it's a rematch from Week 10 for the Chiefs and Titans. Tennessee rallied from multiple deficits with the help of 255 yards rushing, 188 from one Derrick Henry. Welcome in, everybody. Terrell Davis here. We got Akbar Bajabiamila. This is a great championship Wednesday we have going on. We're going to break down the AFC game here. So, TD, I want to start right there with the Titans. And what's the key to them for another victory against the Chiefs?
I believe the key for the Titans is going to be their offensive line. We talk about Derrick Henry and his success with this offensive line. You got to check them out. They are doing a fantastic job up front. It's about Lawan, Saffo, Jones, Davis, and Cochran. Watch this on this play. You got 9 in the box against the Ravens, but watch how sticky. See that C right there, as we call it? You're getting push and movement up front, and as you see, he goes to the line of scrimmage. The offensive line helps push him forward. Now, again, Lawan on the left side of the line. Watch the movement that they're getting from the offensive line. Creates a huge gap. Again, you see that C and Derrick Henry, as big as he is. That guy, if you touch him, you have to bring him down because he is not going down easily. Right there, stiff arm, picks up some more yards on that play. And then right here, it's a big fella back there. Again, they're running these zone runs. And again, you see this little C that's coming with that offensive line? That tells you that they're winning inside with their center and their 2 guards, and they're getting positive yards with that guy. This guy has got 1,567 yards after contact. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous.
It's more than so many running backs had actually running the ball. I mean, his yards after contact are so impressive. And you see 225 rushing yards on the ground allowed by the Chiefs. Yeah. That was a season high for them. But obviously, the Chiefs' best defense is Patrick Mahomes. So how do the Titans slow him down in this game?
Well, I think it's going to be important for the Titans to be able to harass them defensively. They got to get physical. This is a very finesse offensive team. And when you think about the Kansas City Chiefs, they're explosive. And I think if the Titans, if they can control the explosive plays, now all of a sudden you control that tempo. Because when you look at that score from the first game in Week 10, you look at the yards rather, and you look at how many yards they put up in the passing game. And a lot of those were big explosive plays. So I think if you think back to that Week 1 game, the first game against the Texans, and you see how they were frazzled against the Texans. They had bad offense. They were out of sync, but that was because they were physical up front. They were putting pressure on Patrick Mahomes, and that offense just couldn't get synced. We saw drop balls. We saw a lot of miscues. If you can do that for the Titans and maintain that, now if that defense can do that and maintain that, all of a sudden you've got a chance. But this is a tough team to stop with Patrick Mahomes making magic out of nothing sometimes.
And we saw what he did last week in that second quarter, and also he was coming back from his injury in that last game against the Titans and still was able to throw for 446 yards passing. But Andy Reid, he's only 1-8 against the Tennessee Titans, including the playoffs, so he would like to turn that around. And speaking of coaching, we have some coaching news here on this Wednesday. We'll bring in Ian Rapp.
But obviously that thing passed a long time ago. But I do remember, some great games over the years between the Niners and the Packers, and a couple in this situation.
Some of the best sound, and then congratulations to Bill Vinovich and this crew. this will be our set of stripes for the Super Bowl down in Miami. Congratulations to all of these guys. Perhaps, hopefully, we will not see too much of them in the big game. We will find out who the participants will be in this game. We've heard from all 4 coaches, almost 20 players as well, joining us today on the program. A lot for us to look forward to this weekend. You can look forward to NFL Total Access coming up next here on the NFL Network. I'm Patrick Claybon. On behalf of all of us, thanks for watching.
Jimmy Garoppolo throws. It is caught by Kendrick Bourne.
It feels great, baby. Fires it late. Caught. Kelsey dives. Touchdown. 20 points in lightning fashion. He laid out, selling out, and scoring. He looks. He lofts. Left side. Devontae's got it. Touchdown.
Sabosa will get him from the backside.
What a play. It has again been the Derrick Henry show. And this is what you wanted. This is playoff football. The Green Bay Packers have advanced to the NFC Championship game.
This is what it's all about, the NFC and AFC championship trophies for a chance to win it all in Miami. The Chiefs playing for the Lamar Hunt Trophy, named after their late Hall of Fame owner. That would be pretty special, but of course the Titans have something to say about that. Welcome in, everybody, to a special Championship Wednesday NFL Total Access. I'm Colleen Wolf with Scott Hansen. Lindsey Rhodes will be back tomorrow.
Good to have you aboard here, Colleen. You come out for the big shows, don't you, here? Championship Wednesday, all 4 teams back to work on the practice field. Game plans being installed for what, for a lot of these guys, is going to be the biggest game of their lives to date. Now, Aaron Rodgers has been in many big games in his career. He's getting his 14-3 Packers ready to play the equally 14-3 San Francisco 49ers. But this game is at Levi's Stadium because of the head-to-head tiebreaker the Niners won earlier this year.
You realize playing against them how good they are, and at the time, you know, they had a 2-game lead after that game, plus obviously the tiebreaker. So just calculating things in my head, I figured, you know, if we got to the playoffs and made a run, we'd probably have to beat them in their place at some point. And sure enough, we're back in the situation where we got to do it to get to the Super Bowl.
They do a good job of, you know, putting guys in different spots, and they keep mixing it up, spin the dial type of mentality. But it's just, you know, when we get our opportunities, when guys get their numbers called, they have to take advantage of it. And I thought we did that last time we played them, and it'll be a different game this time, but we have to do the same.
Well, if you watched NFL Network special Championship Wednesday coverage, you saw that we have reporters with all 4 teams. Stacey Dales is with the Green Bay Packers. Steve Wyche is live with the San Francisco 49ers. We start in Titletown. Stacey, it's a 14-win Packers team, and they get to drop the underdog card before this game. How's that going?
Isn't that remarkable, Scott?
Yeah.
Listen, they are loose. Why? Because everybody is talking about their worst loss of the season at the hands of the San Francisco 49ers in Week 12, a 29-point loss. They have nothing to lose. Even wide receiver Devontae Adams said earlier today, the pressure, it's on them. We know that they dominated us. We didn't take care of business, but it's only up from here. And then running back Aaron Jones also said, he confirmed, we are the underdog. But to that point, I love the message from head coach Matt LaFleur. His message to his players, you guys, is empty the tank. Absolutely exhaust everything you have, Jair Alexander, cornerback, told me, into winning this football game and beating these dudes. But how about what the San Francisco 49ers are thinking? Steve Wyche, I'll pass it over to you on what's going on with them today.
Well, thanks a lot, Stacey. Well, first off, the Niners, the message is clear. That blowout win over the Packers has nothing to do with the preparation or the focus for this game. As Coach Kyle Shanahan has been telling his players, besides the score, it was a competitive game before the turnovers came into play. But let's also hit the injury front right here, because pass rusher Dee Ford, who returned from a 3-game absence because of a hamstring injury last week in the divisional round, he worked off to the side at practice today. They're just managing that injury. And also linebacker Quan Alexander, who returned last Saturday from a long absence from a torn pec. He was limited in practice, but he told me he will be good to go. But the big message, other than to make sure you are focused on a different Packers opponent, is about team chemistry and unity. As head coach Kyle Shanahan said, he felt the positive energy in this building the same way that he felt it when he was at Atlanta as the offensive coordinator went to the Super Bowl, when they went to the Super Bowl, and wide receiver Emmanuel Sanders said the same thing. The chemistry, the feeling among teammates about them being a good team and having each other's backs was the same when he played in 2 previous Super Bowls before being traded to the 49ers this season. Back to you, Scott.